Aliens created humans. David Grusch on Joe Rogan. It's time that you hide in your bunkers, guys. Put your puppers on a leash. Hide your puppers, because you never know. Aliens might come here and eat your puppers, guys. Like this video, subscribe if you're new, and let's see.
If these things that we're experiencing are the natural progression of what happens when you do seed life on planet, or you do accelerate biological life, you do have some sort of a genetic intervention where you take this thing that it has emerging intelligence and you accelerate it, and that thing will in turn, with all of its desire for innovation and creativity, and also all of its desire to control resources and have power and have influence, that it will eventually lead to the creation of what we're seeing. That these things are the next stage of this process, and that maybe
a lot of people also, I mean, this is like conspiracies, right? Like, people are really fascinated by this and just wait for it, but a lot of people also do believe that eventually we're gonna start to look like them, you know?
We're dealing with
like, this is us, but from the future.
One form of that next stage, but there's another stage that's a million years more advanced than that, that's far superior, that doesn't even have a biological limitation in terms of physical space, that it exists completely in some other undetectable realm that is no longer thinks about biological limitations of life and death and communication. It exists completely in some other space. That's what these things are. And then I always wonder, when there's a crash or when there's a body or when there's a this and that, like, and people saying, well, what if they're so advanced, why are they crashing? Well,
they're crashing.
Hold on. What version are we looking at? We're not saying there's one thing that's visiting us. If there's one thing that's visiting us and we know where this one thing is, we could say, oh, well, that thing, it deals.
It's like we're in a sea of billions and billions of galaxies with and every galaxy got billions and billions of stars. So there's gotta be more than one civilization, and whistleblowers have been saying that more than one civilization. So which one are we talking?
It deals with a completely different solar system that's not as vulnerable. It doesn't have asteroid clouds. It doesn't have all these different things where it's like, it doesn't have a planet that has super volcanoes. Maybe life evolved in a more stable environment, and it allowed it to get to a far greater technological level, but not the ultimate.
Yeah, we might be testing the extent of their adaptability. And like I said, are they crashing by accident?
Right.
Mission failure? Or on purpose?
Right. Well, just think about communication. Just our communication.
Yeah, imagine like coming from billions and billions of light years, or like some light years. I mean, still like a long distance, let's be real. You're dodging all the asteroids. You're dodging all the asteroids, just like how some frogs are dodging the water so they do not turn out to be gay. You know what I mean? Like my name is Alex, you know what I'm saying? I just kind of, right? I cannot say that on YouTube. I cannot say his name on YouTube. But it's like they're dodging asteroids, and they come on our planet, our beautiful planet, and they crash here. They crash here. I get the sentiment. But.
It used to be you had to get in front of someone and you had to talk to them. So you had to know their language. You had to either nonverbal or verbal communication. You had to figure out a way to say things to them.
Yeah.
That's no longer the case. Obviously, with this new Android operating system, it translates. But also the fact that you could have a fucking FaceTime call with someone in Japan right now, and you instantaneously can communicate back and forth, which is insane.
That's a vast distance, but for us, it's like stupid. It's like easy.
Vast distance and
we're
instantaneous.
Tunneling.
That's like Pong. You know, that's Morse code. That's like, it's very primitive in terms of.
And soon enough, we're gonna be having like meetings in you know, the glasses they came out with, like Apple Vision, I believe, right? So, and you know, in movies we've always seen like 3D projections, the holograms, right? The holograms where you're just sitting in your chair, and in front of you you're talking to the person that's not even there. It's just a light illuminating. It's a hologram where you see a full shape of a person, and you're like having a FaceTime, but in like 3D kind of. Like, soon enough we're gonna have that. They're coming out with Neuralink as well. AI robots, apparently another company has did a breakthrough. They were presenting their AI technology, and the guy was interviewing. He put like a couple of dishes in front of the AI robot. He put put some trash, garbage. He also put an apple, and he was asking the AI, so tell me like what's this, what's this, what's that. AI scored 100% on all of them. He was like, hey, the guy was like, hey, I'm hungry, can you give me something? The robot picked up the apple. He said, there's a lot of trash here, can you put it in the garbage? Threw right there. Can you tidy it up? Can you clean it up? He put all the dishes in row perfectly. So we are really headed towards, I still feel like that we're like a couple of years away, but like a decade from now, I feel like that some people are gonna be having pet AI robots in their home, and some people are gonna be having robots for some other reason. Some people are gonna be having AI robots for some love reasons as well. But
what if you physically can be in these places instantaneously?
Yeah.
And why would we assume that that's not eventually going to be on the menu?
Yeah, and of course, friend of mine, Eric Weinstein, certainly espouses we don't even have the right theoretical frameworks right now.
Right.
You know, he has his own geometric unity theory, and he's way smarter than I am.
He's too smart. He has he's got some unique theories himself about where all this stuff is coming from, and it's all very, very, very interesting and intriguing, but also makes sense. All of it makes sense, including being visited. You know, I had this conversation with Neil deGrasse Tyson. He's like, why would they be interested in us? I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
We're super interested. Yeah. Neil, I mean, obviously he's a fine science communicator, kind of the successor of kind of the Carl Sagan kind of
I think Carl Sagan was a little bit more open-minded.
Yeah. I like Carl better, but
I'm more of a fan. Wish he was still alive.
Okay, so far this interview has been like, you know, David interviewing Joe Rogan rather than Joe Rogan interviewing David, bro. Like what?
I love to smoke
I
weed
watched
with that guy. He was really into weed.
Oh, really?
Yeah, really into it. I have a theory that the universe itself is God. I think
that's like what I was talking about with the multidimensional creator creating universes. Yeah,
I think we have a very limited idea of when we say God. When God created the heavens, and like, right. But what are we saying? I think it's the universe itself. I think it's one thing, and that this one thing, it seeks to create these things that continually push the envelope and may be gods themselves eventually. I think if you extrapolate from our ability versus the ability of an amoeba, and you continue to move that along, what does that do? Well, it's going to be able to create universes. There's already been like theoretical papers that have been written about the creation of other things like black holes, other things like a universe. So what is involved in the creation of a universe? What is involved in the Big Bang? Can that be replicated? Well, not now, but if AI becomes sentient and AI eventually makes far greater versions of itself, if it keeps doing that, like what are the limits of its potential? Literally creates a simulated environment that's
I think, I always give this example on my gaming channel. But like, if you're not into gaming or whatever, like if you don't have any movie or any show to watch right now, and you're like struggling to come up with something, and you're like really intrigued and interested in the subject of AI and all that crap, I would highly recommend you watch Detroit Become Human. Detroit, the city Detroit, right? Detroit Become Human. Search that on YouTube. No commentary walkthrough. Watch the entire. It's a game, but you're gonna watch it and you're gonna be like, oh, holy crap! It looks so real. You know, it's almost gonna be as like a TV show you're watching. Watch it for like, I would say like 10-20 minutes, and at that point you're gonna be intrigued and they're gonna be like, okay, bro, I need to finish the entire thing up. You know, it's and that game was set in like what, 2035, 2040-ish kind of, and it's about like the AI robots taking over, and you know, mostly every human now got like their AI robot, or they can rent an AI robot to clean stuff at home and all that. Obviously, I don't want to go super in detail because that's not what this video is about. Aliens created humans, that was the title, and so far we haven't discussed any of that. There are obviously conspiracies. I believe the Anunnakis or something. Maybe Joe is gonna get into it, or maybe the title is clickbait. So you know what? Let me not double clickbait you. Let's actually talk about the topic so it becomes non-clickbaity, if that makes sense, right? But there surely are a lot of conspiracies, and this has entertained the masses as well, myself included. Obviously, I'm a believer in God, right? I believe in God. Simple as that. Some of you do as well. Some of you don't. Fair, right? Like everybody got their own belief. That's fair, right? But some of you probably heard the conspiracies and some of you probably believe, which is crazy, but all right, fair, right? Some people do believe that, you know, we were created by the aliens though. You know, imagine the thought, just like how we are developing this thing called AI. And eventually, I mean, the way it's going might be sentient eventually, right? And it's gonna have a mind of its own. It already got a mind of its own, but we're able to control it. But eventually, it's gonna get out of it. So the conspiracy is that I believe the Anunnakis. This is like an alien kind, like a civilization, just like humans, Homo sapiens, us, and Anunnakis. I believe them. And conspiracies are that they created, and this is why they say you cannot handle the truth. You cannot handle the truth. This is why they always tell you that, hey. And if we were to tell you the truth, you're not gonna be able to handle it. You're not gonna be able to sleep at night. Maybe this is that thing they're talking about. Maybe there's a lot more to it. Maybe this is fake. Maybe this is real. Maybe that's real. Maybe this is fake. You understand what I'm saying, right? But I'm a believer in God. Simple as that. But what if it's like God created the Anunnakis and they created us? Oh shit! God exists, but it's like we're a product of them, kinda, right? I mean, that's another conspiracy though. I mean, there's so many conspiracies, man. We can be here for a year talking about these conspiracies back and forth and entertain each other with the theories, but like, what is real, what is not real anymore? I feel like that we're just kind of like bored, right? I think that's kind of like what it is. I'd say we're kind of bored and we're making crap up, or maybe it's real. Maybe it is real. I guess there's only one way to find out, but when you find out, you're not gonna be here to tell the tale.
Discernible. You can't tell the difference between that and regular life. Well, maybe because there is no difference. Maybe that is what I mean. That's the theory of simulation theater.
Yeah, simulation theory. Yeah,
simulation
familiar,
as well.
And that is a possibility because the universe seems like a little too perfect. It's a little strange, very created to me. So just like we're in the Goldilocks zone,
right?
Perfect temperature. Like it's just
real how about the Big Bang itself? Like,
yeah.
What happened?
Perfect.
Something smaller than the head of a pin, for no known reason, becomes everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe it's also the Fibonacci sequence. In one of the videos, I was like, there was a video that proves the existence of God mathematically, and it's an amazing video. Maybe one day I'll do it if I don't forget. Eventually, I guess I'll get around to doing that video as well, with the Fibonacci sequence as well. It's like everything is mathematically perfect though. You know what I mean? Everything is mathematically perfect, and it's like, dog, you cannot think of, for example, this light, right? This light that I just got here. If I tell you the light was made by itself, you're not gonna believe me. You're gonna call me crazy, like I'm crazy. Of course, somebody created the light. It's us. We created the lights. So somebody gotta create us too. That's like the easy, you know, just the easy example. Whenever you speak with an atheist, that's like the first thing you tell them, right? Hey, like if you're telling me that this light couldn't create itself, so how can you create yourself? Or you're saying that like somebody got to have created you, right? So that's like one of the first things that people always talk about when they speak with atheists. And it's like when you watch that video of God existence proven mathematically alongside and you put like the Fibonacci sequence alongside it, dog, it's like your brain is gonna break. You're like, yeah, there's somebody in control. Somebody made us, you know, somebody put us in this planet. Everything is like perfect temperature, like he said as well. If we were on a different planet, I mean, you know, it's like not the same anymore, you know.
And what's the universe expanding into?
Right.
It's like a quantum foam or whatever the heck the latest theory is that's like beyond me.
And then it perhaps just retracts back down to that infinitely small thing and then expands again. And that this is an endless cycle, and that we're just so limited because of our biological limitations. Our life and death is such a small little tiny blip. It's so minuscule in terms of just the overall known life of the universe. And then you have the James Webb telescope that's, you know, there's people that question the actual length of time that occurred between the Big Bang and now, that maybe it might be far longer. And there's people like Brian Keating that say that's not correct. It's just a lack of understanding of what we understand currently about the creation of galaxies. And that these
because I mean, obviously the length of the age of the universe keeps on getting older and older, and a lot of that's because of the Doppler shift, right? The red shift. As the galaxies are accelerating away, you know, we can calculate what their origin point probably was and how long it took for them to speed up like that, right? So,
and only based on our current understanding.
Yes.
Which is obviously at least fairly limited in terms of what its potential is.
Well, yeah, like we still don't quite understand the origin of the moon. The moon is at the right location that causes solar and lunar eclipses. It's like the right apparent size to block out the sun. It's like super weird. Same thing with like Mars. We're not sure like what happened there, where Mars, you know, had some probable life on it. Either a protoplanet hit it, or there was some kind of impact that vaporized stuff, and like who knows? So,
who knows? Yeah. And this is just this little tiny neighborhood that we're looking at.
And guys, this is that last video that we've done on Joe Rogan, right? Check out this video on the screen. This is if you enjoyed this conversation, well, we are continuing that conversation in this video as well. Check it out, and I'll see you right there.